New information tonight. In the Kristin Smart case, the man accused of killing the California college student 25 years ago appeared in court today for an arraignment. Paul Flores and his father Ruben entered not guilty pleas today. Prosecutors say Paul killed Smart in 1996 while trying to rape her in his college dorm room. His father Ruben is accused of helping hide Smart's body. A judge ruled Paul will remain in jail without bail. And all new tonight, my one-on-one conversation with the man whose work is being credited with helping police crack that case, Chris Lambert, tracking down new witnesses as part of his true crime podcast. Chris Lambert, thank you so much for talking with us. We really appreciate your time. You know, you're here because your podcast, Your Own Backyard, is being credited with helping renew interest and really get investigators to take a closer look at this cold case from '96. Can you talk about your interest in the Kristin Smart case? Because it's somewhat personal for you, right?
It is. I grew up on the Central Coast. I was only 8 years old when Kristin went missing, so it's been literally like a lifelong story that I've heard about, but I didn't know the details of it until just a few years ago. And so it's something that I've always been interested in learning more about, but didn't really delve into until 2018.
And can you talk a bit about your background? Because you are not a professional investigator. You have no law enforcement background, but you still were able to find some witnesses and some leads that appear to have been overlooked by the pros.
Right. Yeah, I'm a songwriter. That's my main gig is writing songs and playing music and recording. I've worked in recording studios for years, but when I started researching the case, I just started writing down people's names from old newspaper articles and going, I wonder if I can find this person on Facebook or Instagram or find a phone number for them, call them and see if they'd be willing to share their story after this many years, especially since the case hasn't been resolved. And so just in doing that, each time I talked to someone, they would tell me, here's another 5 people that would know more than I do. And I just kept talking to as many people as I could. And yeah, I guess just through talking about it, this is one of those cases where people knew things that they hadn't been willing to come forward with until pretty recently.
All right, you know, and Chris, police have not said what new evidence led to these arrests, but we know that Flores has been under suspicion since the very beginning, at least from many people in the area. And can you talk about some of the reasons for that suspicion, in addition to him being the last person seen with her the night she disappeared?
Yeah, he's the last person to walk her home. He was notorious around campus for not having boundaries with women and for making them very uncomfortable. He would attend parties and get really drunk and corner women, try to kiss them, try to touch them. And so he was already known for doing this. His nickname with some of the people at the party that night was Chester the Molester. And then after he walked Kristin home and she was never seen again, he had a black eye. He had scratches on his hands and knees. He told the police that he got it in a basketball game. And then just a few weeks later, when they called the people at the basketball game, they learned that he had shown up to that game with the black eye and scratches. And then he admitted to the detectives, yeah, I lied about that, but it wasn't a big deal. I got it working on my car. I hit it on my steering wheel. And so he aroused suspicion early on because nobody really defended him. Nobody had a good experience with him of everyone they talked to. And then he admitted to lying to investigators. So there were a number of things. And then the
Cadaver Dogs, right? I mean, they went to his mattress.
Right. 4 Cadaver Dogs alerted to his dorm mattress, his wastebasket, and the phone in his dorm room. And so once that happened, it was pretty clear what had happened. They just didn't have a body, they didn't have a weapon, and they weren't able to prove it.
Well, speaking of that, Chris, Kristin's body has never been found. Do you think it will be?
I have to think it will be. I think that's the whole thing is recovering Kristin Smart at this point. Even if Paul and his father had not been charged as they were this week, I was always hopeful that regardless of what happened on the legal end of things, that Kristin's body being recovered would be the main priority. And even though they have now been charged, I still hope that that is a priority.
Absolutely. Well, last question for you. Can you share a bit of how the Smart family reacted to these arrests? I'm sure you've spoken with them or at least heard from them, because we know this has been a brutal 25 years for that family.
Yeah, I think this is something they've been trying to prepare for the entire time. And then more recently, when they were seeing the momentum picking up and they knew the investigation was starting to pick up steam, I think they were preparing themselves for it. But even after all of those years of preparation, when it actually happens, it's pretty overwhelming. And so I've checked in with them multiple times this week, and we're all on the same page. We're exhausted. It still hasn't really sunk in for a lot of us. We're trying to process everything that's going on and what we think will go on next. It's been just a completely overwhelming time. And as you can imagine, for her parents, it's the ultimate.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Chris Lambert of the podcast titled In Your Own Backyard, so well done. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.